everyone, so today I thought I would film a food related Christmas video because I'm so excited for Christmas, and obviously everyone knows that the best part about Christmas is the food. So I've done a couple of videos on my channel before about how I'm vegan, so I thought it would be maybe helpful to do a kind of ultimate vegan Christmas guide where I cover literally any food you could think of that you'll want at Christmas, and I show where you can get vegan alternatives for it. So I have spent quite a while traipsing through like as many different supermarket websites as I can, just to get like a variety of different places in case, say, you don't have like a Tesco near you but you have one of these other places. And I've come up with different vegan options for party food, for Christmas dinner, for nibbles, and then for desserts as well. So I'm going to separate the video into those sections, and I'll leave the time frames down below, so if you're only interested in like where to get a vegan mince pie, you can just check out the dessert section. So that way it's a bit easier, it's a bit more organised because there isn't a lot of food that I'm going to go through. Also, I'm going to try and link everything down below if I remember. It is a lot of things, but I thought that might be quite helpful. If you're shopping, then you can kind of just look at all the links and click to your heart's content. So I'm going to start off with the party food section. I feel like this is quite a normal thing for families to have, like nibbles, like, you know, like finger food for Christmas Eve or running up to Christmas. So I thought I would find some vegan options. So if you're bringing food to like a family party, you can bring some of this stuff, or if you're putting on a family party or a Christmas party, there are some options for you to use. So the first thing is my personal favourite, and that is sausage rolls. These are definitely not like classy party ideas. They're the sort of stuff that you might see like on an Iceland advert, but I feel like that's the best sort of party food. So that's the sort of stuff that I looked up. So the first one is sausage rolls. I've got a couple of different varieties. Tesco actually have their own like meat-free sausage rolls. They come in a pack of 30 and they're really, really good. I actually took these to a veg stock social the other day and everyone loved them, so I definitely recommend those. And then some slightly classier sausage rolls. Lindt & McCartney have a couple of different types. They have a pork and apple one, which you can get from Tesco's and probably some other supermarkets as well. And then they also have beef mushroom Wellington bites. I guess not technically sausage rolls, but the same sort of pastry wrapped fake meat. And I've not tried either of those, but I'm definitely going to look out for them because they sound really good and they sound a bit different. The Tesco ones are just kind of like bog standard sausage rolls, so these ones sound a bit fancier. Another meat substitute is Asda's popcorn chicken. This is kind of self-explanatory, but they're sort of little balls of fake meat that are breadcrumbed and they're really, really good. So that might be something else that you could have. I think things like samosas and spring rolls are pretty bog standard for like nibble foods, and you can get vegetable versions of these pretty much at every supermarket, I think, and Asian supermarkets. And most places you can get the sort of box of frozen set of samosas or spring rolls, and I just think they're a really good option. Just make sure that they don't have egg in them. But all of the ones that I've looked up have been absolutely vegan, so they're definitely a good option as well. Also, if you did want to make some nibbles, puff pastry is often vegan. I know the Just Roll brand is vegan, Tesco own brand is vegan. A lot of the ones out there are vegan, so just check for milk, but that could be used to make some sort of fancy canapes. You could put like a little bit of pesto and, I don't know, go wild with it, but that is an option if you wanted to make something, and also it looks a bit nicer as well. Lindt & McCartney have now also started doing cocktail sausages, which are their original sausages but obviously in cocktail sausage size. So that's another really good option. That's also really good for like birthday parties and things like that. And then finally for nibble foods, I've got garlic bread, my absolute fave. Obviously you can make your own garlic bread and get a baguette and garlic butter and whatnot, but a lot of supermarkets stock accidentally vegan garlic bread. So Tesco own garlic bread's fine, Sainsbury's own garlic bread is fine. I think Iceland also have some garlic bread that's fine, so just check the back for milk, you'll be surprised. It's sort of one of those things that you just wouldn't expect to be vegan, and a lot of the time it is, so that's another great thing. Okay, so now moving on to the main Christmas dinner food. Obviously things like potatoes and veg are going to be fine, just make sure that you don't cook them in butter or honey or anything like that. But I thought I'd look up some roast options. You can obviously make something homemade, so last year I made a pie. I followed Hot for Food's roast pie dish thing. It had stuffing in and sweet potato mash and lentils and mushrooms, and that was really, really good. I think I might be making that again this year. But I just thought I would find some options for people that didn't fancy making something, or if you're maybe not vegan but you've got someone who is coming around for dinner, this might be a good option for you to buy in to give to them. So the first one is the Lindt & McCartney beef Wellington. Sorry if I keep looking down, I've got my big list of things on my laptop down here. But yeah, the first one is the beef Wellington, which I've not tried yet, but I am very tempted to. It comes with a red wine and shallot glaze, which sounds pretty fancy, so that's quite a nice option, and it's only £3.50. You can get it at a lot of supermarkets. This is on Tesco online. I'm sure other places sell it as well, but that's just a really nice cheap option for your roast. Linda McCartney also do pies, which is what I had for my house Christmas dinner. They're really, really, really good. They're sort of like country meat pies, and you get 2 in a pack for £2. So again, it's really cheap and they're super easy because you can literally just shove them in the oven for 40 minutes and they're done. Tesco's also has a festive nut roast. I'm personally not the biggest nut roast fan, but I know that some people are, and this sounds actually quite fancy because it comes with mulled wine and cranberry, which sounds quite nice. Sainsbury's also do kind of nut cutlets as opposed to like a whole roast, which is a good idea if there's only, say, one of you that's having the vegetarian or vegan option, so you can just shove one of these individual sized portions in the oven. Doesn't take up as much space, and then you've got some left in the freezer for another time. Morrison's also sells a loaf, which is carrot, sweet potato and kale, which sounds quite nice. I think that sounds a bit different. I feel like that sounds more exciting than a nut loaf, but I've not tried it, so I don't know if it's good, but that is another option. In terms of other sides that you might have that isn't just kind of the veg, those Linda McCartney cocktail sausages might work really nicely as a sort of pigs in blanket substitute. We had that for our Christmas dinner in our house this year, and they were really good, and it was quite nice to have that little extra something. Also, most stuffing is vegan, especially the kind of dried packet mixes. So Paxo has a mushroom and onion stuffing, which is fine. There's obviously sage and onion, even the kind of pre-made stuffing balls you can find that are also vegan. Asda has a roasted garlic, sage and red onion stuffing mix, which I think sounds quite fancy, so that sounds good as well. And then there's Tesco Finest porcini mushroom roast garlic stuffing, which again is very fancy but also vegan, and an apple leek and herb stuffing. Again, fancy but really good. I'm honestly just a plain sage and onion stuffing, like the cheap bag kind of person, but there are fancier options if you are a fancier person. And also the Tesco gluten-free stuffing is also vegan, so if you're gluten-free and vegan, there is an option for you as well. My camera just died, but now I'm moving on to desserts. So the first and probably the most important thing is the mince pies. I feel like this has been harder to find vegan versions of mince pies this year for some reason. So if you found any other ones, let me know in the comments, because I've only found a couple. The first one being Morrison's Free From mince pies, which are also gluten-free, so if you are gluten-free and vegan, that is another really good option. The next ones I found have been from Iceland. It's the Iceland 12 mince pie pack, not the sort of fancier ones, just the bog standard mince pies. I've actually had these this year. They were my first mince pie of the year, and they're really, really good. They taste very legit because obviously they're not like meant to be vegan, it's just an accidental vegan find. So I would recommend these ones out of all of the ones I found, because they're not meant to be vegan. No one would think you're weird for bringing these because they're not weird vegan food, and they're really good as well. Asda's standard mince pies are also vegan, but I've not tried those, but they look like pretty normal mince pies as well. In terms of Christmas pudding, I know this isn't everyone's favourite thing. I personally love Christmas pudding. I think maybe because it is festive. I don't think I'd ever choose to eat it when it's not Christmas, but I do enjoy it, and I have found a few vegan ones. The first being the Asda Free From one. So again, this is gluten-free, so it's good for gluten-free people, but it also doesn't have any egg or milk in. And Asda's just normal Christmas pudding is also vegan, so that is another option. Morrison's also have quite a few different Christmas puddings, so their Free From one again is vegan, but also they have like a fancy one. It is the Best 6-Month Mature Christmas Pudding, so that one sounds pretty good. A bit more expensive, but also vegan. And they also have Morrison's Rich Fruit Christmas Pudding, which is also vegan. Like I said, I already had my house Christmas this year, and for the Christmas pudding I used for that, it was from Iceland. It was just their kind of classic Christmas pudding, and that was also vegan, and it was really good. And then obviously you can't have Christmas pudding without custard, at least I can't. So my personal favourite is the Alpro custard. I get that every time without fail. So good. I had it at Christmas, and the people that are used to normal custard couldn't tell any difference between that and regular custard. So I really recommend that, and it's really affordable as well. Oatly also have a custard that I haven't tried, but that looks good as well. And then in terms of other desserts that you can buy if you're not going to make something, frozen strudels are often vegan. So I've got one that's a Tesco apple strudel that's fine, and Morrison's have that as well, and they also have a berry version. So that's a really good option for people that don't like Christmas pudding. And Sainsbury's also sells a pre-made apple crumble that's gluten-free and it's also vegan, so that's another option as well. And then finally, moving on to Christmas chocolate. Yes, the best bit maybe for some people. I found quite a lot. There's obviously a lot more for all of these things than what I found. But I just wanted to find quite a few options from different places to give people a chance to find something, especially if it's like your first vegan Christmas or your first time providing for a vegan at Christmas. Sometimes it's nice just to have a list of a variety of different things that you can then choose what you want to get from. So the first thing is my personal fave, and that is mint thins. So my beloved After Eights are unfortunately not vegan, but most supermarket own brands, at least that I've looked at, are usually vegan. So the Morrison's own brand mint thins are fine, you know, Asda, Sainsbury's, Tesco. I'm pretty sure all of their own brand mint thins are good, and I literally can't tell the difference between them and After Eights, so that is definitely a good shout. And then a slightly more fancy mint chocolate are the Elizabeth Shaw crisp, like mint dark chocolate mint crisps, I think they're called. And they're really good. They're kind of individually wrapped chocolates, and yeah, they're definitely really nice. Also this year I feel like there are much more chocolate selection kind of things for vegans and just dairy-free people. So I have got the one from Tesco's, which has a white chocolate coffee truffle, a milk chocolate salted caramel, a dark chocolate orange, and a milk chocolate raspberry truffle, and they're really good, and that's such a treat to have like a fancy selection box of nice chocolates. And Asda's also have a similar thing. Asda also have a dairy-free chocolate selection box. I always used to have those Cadbury's kind of chocolate selection stocking boxes every Christmas, and now there is a nice vegan alternative that has a selection of a few different free-from chocolates, and Tesco's have one of them as well. So it's just got like milk chocolate and white chocolate and buttons and all that sort of stuff. From Tesco you can also get some free-from chocolate reindeer lollies, so that is really good for children and they're really cheap as well. And then Morrison's are really stepping up their free-from game. You can get free-from chocolate coins, which again is a really good stocking filler, but they also have boxes of free-from truffles. So they have just straight up chocolate truffles, and then they also have white chocolate and strawberry fondant truffles, I believe. So that's really nice. I've not tried them, but that sounds quite fancy, and I think that would be another good gift. So that is everything that I found for all the different sections of vegan food. This is my ultimate vegan Christmas guide. I hope it was of some help for some of you. Let me know what you're having for your Christmas dinner in the comments. I still don't know. I think I might make that pie again, but I am really tempted by some of those roasts, particularly the Linda McCartney one. So if you've tried that as well, let me know what you think. And yeah, let me know if you've tried any of these things and your thoughts on them, because I haven't tried all of them. I just found them and looked at the ingredients to check that they were vegan. So if you've tried them and they're good, or if they're awful, let me know. And I hope that you all have a lovely Christmas, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!